Hello guys and gals, animal friends and spirit pals, and welcome to my channel. Thank you guys for joining me again today. I always appreciate it. I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all of you guys that were able to join me in the live stream a couple of days ago. I was really nervous about that. That's the first time I ever tried it. I only kind of know what I'm doing, not really. But the fact that you guys were able to join me meant the world to me. It was terrific. Even though I still didn't get to see your beautiful, shining, bright faces, I was able to connect with you more fully to your soul, to your personality, and to your energy in that live format. At least that's the way it felt. And it was really great for me. It was nourishing. And so I hope you guys got something out of it as well. So thanks a lot, guys. I know everybody couldn't participate because of the time and whatever. But I really appreciate those of you that took some time to come and play with me in that live. Okay. I was getting ready to go do some painting in my back bedroom. I've been trying to get this house fixed up and painted and a lot of, cleanup work. But I sat down for a few minutes outside just to check in with spirit and to center myself. And Pan said he'd like to address you guys a little bit today before I get started. So I thought we'd see what he wants to talk about, if you guys are ready. So let me pull him in and see what he has to say today. Good afternoon. This is the one called Pan. Greetings to all Earth. I'm so happy to interact with you in this way today. I wanted to talk about a little bit of the imbalance that's going on in your energy bodies, both individually and as a group energy body. Our friend Djwhal Khul is doing quite a bit of work from above and working quite a bit with the group body, the energy body group, and still is reporting quite a bit of imbalance, particularly in the emotional body. Now there's some energy running around in the mental body as well, but we're going to look today more at the emotional imbalance that's going on with you. And all of you are being affected in one way or another by this block. The more you stifle the emotion or ignore the emotion or pretend it isn't there or sit on it or say I'll deal with that later or whatever, the more you keep progress from moving forward. So you stop the progress. And not you particularly, but the group of humanity. You particularly, if you're also stopping it in your own life and not letting the emotions flow through you. Now, emotions are emotions. One's not better or worse than the other. Some emotions, when you dwell on them, will take your energy down and lower it and lower it and lower it. Other emotions, when they're dwelled on or looked at for a period of time, raise your energy up a little more. So if you're having a lot of fun and laughing and enjoying yourself, your energy raises. If you're feeling healthy and alive and happy to be here and excited to be interacting and living on the earth, you feel love, excitement, your energy rises up. Now, if you dwell and hold on to sadness, depression, anxiety, it brings your energy down. Now, I'm talking really about holding on to those emotions. And by that I mean you're not expressing them and moving on. So you're hanging on to them. Either you're ignoring them or you're hanging on to them to examine it further and further and further. I'm depressed. I'm so depressed, I'm more depressed. And now I'm so more depressed that I'm ultimately depressed. I'm so sad, this makes me sad, and this makes me sadder, and everything is sad, I only want to be sad. I'm so angry, those people make me so angry. The lack of movement makes me so angry. I'm just angry, 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 angry. And I'm just kind of stewing and staring at it and contemplating it and dwelling on it until I just become a big ball of anger or a big ball of fear or a big ball of sadness. Now, those are all perfectly good emotions. And you will all experience them from time to time. It's the holding on to them, the dwelling on them, that makes a negative effect. It's not the emotion, it's not expressing the emotion and having the emotion, it's dwelling on it and hanging on to it and identifying with it so that you look at that at the expense of everything else. That's the number one focus. The earth doesn't work for me. I'm always frustrated. I'm so frustrated about being frustrated. This is such a frustrating situation. Frustrating, frustrating, frustrating. You know, how can you find a solution or look at something beyond that, because your vision, your energy, your focus is just on that emotion that's pulling your energy down. It's not bad emotions. All emotions are good emotions because they show that you're alive. And living on the earth is an emotional experience. That's one of the reasons you wanted to be on the earth, is for emotions and to have emotional experiences, you know. So it's not bad to be having them. What becomes negative and not productive is dwelling on them and not letting them just go through you. Now, not only are you all being asked to look at that which doesn't serve you, bring it to the service and release it, you're doing that as a group too, as a group unit. So this time in your world, on the earth, in your life, is a time when it's all for one and one for all. That's really the big lesson. You're all connected. There's no separation. And really looking at that and realizing it. That's part of the reason why you're going through this in the first place, and why the pandemic is here worldwide. It wasn't an accident. It didn't just happen out of the blue. It was meant to happen, and we've seen it coming for a while. Now, the purpose of it was to help you realize that you're in this thing together. It's all for one and one for all. There's no separation. There's still this tendency for humanity to believe that they are not connected to Source, that they're separate from that, that the spiritual aspect of you has no place here on the earth, that's not part of your daily business. And it is. Now, the reason that you would focus on things like sadness, depression, fear, and I mean focus on it beyond what would be necessary. You know, of course, if you lose a loved one, you're going to have sadness. And that's appropriate, and you need to have it, and you need to express it. You don't want to avoid it. You don't want to act like you weren't affected by losing a loved one. You want to experience the whole thing, live through it, express it, and then move beyond it. If you're just holding on to it, refusing to work with it, you just stay stuck in that energy and you can't move forward. Your loved one, human or animal, who's transitioned and moved on, they don't want you to stay stuck. My passing was why they're stuck now in this. And I want them to become unstuck and move forward. Grieve my energy, express love and whatever my energy meant to you, but love me and send me forward. Love that you were with me. Love that we had a relationship that served us both, and move forward. Look at all that and let it move forward. A lot of you are also experiencing these kinds of emotions for the group. So some members of the group aren't able to process it as well as other members. And so some of you will be processing it for the group as well as for yourself. Sometimes you might not even feel like, I don't know where this, you might sense, I'm feeling sad or upset and I'm not even exactly sure why. I'm not sure why. But I've just been in this state of upset and I can't quite get beyond it. So I want you to express it out. And I would suggest a couple of exercises for that because it's not always personal. You're doing it for the group. And a good way to release things like anger, frustration, or upset is to just scream it out of the body. Now, I'm not suggesting you do that at someone. You don't want to scream it out at someone. So I would suggest you do it where you're alone. Maybe get in the car, take a drive, roll up the windows, turn on the radio, and just scream out your anger and frustration. Get it out, get it out, get it out. You'll be surprised at how good you feel afterwards because you've released it. It's not just sitting there burning a hole in your stomach. You've let it go. Or if sadness, bury your face in a pillow. Scream, yell, cry, whatever. You might need to go off by yourself for a few minutes and do it. Maybe in a bath, maybe in the shower, to release some emotion, some tears, some upset, some frustration. Just maybe you're upset with source and you want to have a word. I'm frustrated. I'm mad. I need more guidance. Things aren't as clear as I need them. What the heck? I need you to speak to me in a voice that's clearer. Gosh darn it, source. Work with me here. Go ahead and express it out. Don't just hold it in. Say, I'm so spiritual, I should never be upset with source. You are what you are. It is what it is. Express it. Don't deny it. Express it and move forward. There's a lot of energy that says this isn't happening on the earth. And I'm talking about the pandemic and all that incurs. There's this denial that it's going on. There's this thought of, well, it's happening to them, but not to me. I'm above it. I don't have to participate. I don't need to pitch in. I'm separate from it. It's not real. It's imagined. Those people that passed away didn't really pass away from an illness. They passed away from magic. Whatever it is, there's this huge denial that what's happening is happening, and so avoiding what is. So you came to the earth to live on the earth and to change things from the earth up. The way this problem will be solved is from the earth up. It's a group problem. It's a group solution. It's up to humanity to solve it together. And not say, well, here in this community, We're going to solve it, but forget about them. It's a group effort. The solution will come from the group. Now, that doesn't mean that every single member is in on it. It does require a majority of humans to focus in that way in order to create speedy change which serves everyone to their highest good. And eventually those who refuse to get on board will, if I said before, we'll have to do something else. But I really want you to check and make sure you're not holding on to some old, tired emotion that's doing you no good. It's not serving you to lift higher and to be more of who you are. Now, some of you light workers or energy workers, we're asking you to do this for the group body as well as in your own individual life. So, individually, maybe somebody pushes your buttons and you want to pretend like they don't, rather than just acknowledge that this is true and let it go and move on. And sometimes you don't have to, that doesn't mean you have to go to them and say, oh, you really irritate me. Blah, blah, blah. It's more that you recognize it within yourself, you own it, and you let it go. Own the emotion, express it, let it go. You don't have to express it at someone. It just needs to be expressed and released. You don't want to be stuck looking at something that's not satisfying when you can just move on. And also this idea of resisting what's happening, saying, I don't want this to be happening. I'm not going to participate. I want it over with now. It's going on too long. All of that, contemplating, focusing, just prolongs the experience. The quicker you can just accept what's going on and realize this is what's happening, this is what we're dealing with. I came to Earth to be involved in this in an earthly way to bring clarity and healing to it. I came here to be in this. So now that you're here and you're in it, don't try to pretend like you're not. Sometimes with the light workers, they think, well, I'm so spiritual, I'm so connected to the source and light that I don't have anger or frustration or sadness or any of those emotions that you might call negative. And that's baloney. You're human, so you have all the human emotions. Now, where you can make that less problematic is by not dwelling on it and taking them and owning it and identifying it and becoming it. Now, if you have joyful experiences and joyful and loving emotions and laughter and creativity and successful feelings and all that, and you can kind of live in those longer and focus on those longer, that will lift you up. So if you're going to focus on an emotion, choose one of those. And I will also say, even with those, what we call positive emotions, express them and move to the next one. Because a lot of you are refusing to express joy, for example, because I'm in the house, I'm alone, I'm locked in, I'm wearing a mask, I'm not happy, I don't feel that great, I'm tired. Screw joy, there's nothing to be joyful about. There is. Look for it. Now, one of the greatest ways of changing this sort of emotion that pulls you down and to switch it into an emotional reality that lifts you up is to think of things you're grateful for. Think of things you love. Think of things that make you happy and joyful. I would encourage you to write them down on a piece of paper, or at least get quiet and make your list mentally in your head. And then if you write down and just keep going further and further, this was what made me happy. This always makes me laugh. I love this part of the earth. This is what opens my heart and lifts my spirit. And I have all these, and it doesn't matter if there's a pandemic or not. I still have these things that I love and enjoy. Knowing that I have a conscious, personal relationship with Source gives me joy, excitement. It's thrilling. And that I can know that, acknowledge it, feel it, realize it, even in the midst of what looks like hell on earth. That's the point. And hooray for me for staying balanced as we move through an unbalanced time. That's the way you'll help everybody get through it. Now, some of you, as you're channeling sorrow or frustration for the group, know that that's a service and one that you're able to do. And there's some individuals here that are able to do that. And you just do it. Realize that's what it is. It's an exercise. You're doing it for the group. You're releasing it. That felt good. I wept for the group, and I released it for a lot of them. Not just for me, but for them. And it works that way. Djwhal Khul's going, yes, it works. You can release energy for the group because you're connected to the group. There's no separation. It's all one. Source wants you to figure this out and realize that you are Source. You have the power to turn things on their head and to lift everything to its highest expression. You are able to serve yourself and the whole group. All for one, one for all. That's really the theme for now and for a while here. Now, this too shall pass. It is dragging out a bit, and that's because of the resistance to accepting what is. There's still a lot of people saying, this isn't even happening. This isn't real. But it is in your current reality. People are dying to show you that it's the reality that you're living in. So if you're in it, it's real. You're living it. You're on the earth to be of the earth, on the earth, in the earth. But you're changing the earth from the earth out. If that makes sense. So in this time on the earth, we're not really looking for you to be spiritual and holy in a cave somewhere off on a mountain. Now, some of you may choose to, but we're really looking for you to be in the trenches, on the road, on the ground, living the truth, that truth of Source, of unity, of connection, of oneness. You're demonstrating it in your daily life. And begin to look at this time of isolation. It's not an accident that the whole world had to stop, go inside, close the doors and windows, and sit quietly. We really, everything's kind of turned inside out, and it was on purpose. And if you think everybody going within was a mistake, think again. You had to cut down on the noise, cut down on going, working, doing. But without a spiritual center, without a spiritual basis, it all goes to naught. It's just wasted energy. Now, it can make all kinds of dramatic things for you to watch, and fear and hate and disagree with, but in the end, it creates nothing. It's just a wasted energy. So, Source is asking you all to get quiet, look at what's important. Maybe it's more important for you to be at home with your kids than it was to be working all the time and them always gone, and you never get together, you never have a meal together, you never actually talk about anything real. Maybe it was time for you to reevaluate what you're doing for a living and how you're working. Maybe it was just time for everyone to stop and look and reassess before moving forward. It's like the world did a tarot reading, and they all got the Hermit, and they all had to go within, shine that light within to see what is the best way for me as a child of Source to move forward so that it serves myself to my own higher good and everyone else concerned. And that includes, all the earth and her children, not just humanity, but everything. So when you're irritated or upset, don't say, oh, I shouldn't be irritated or upset. Just go, oh, I'm irritated and upset. Blech! And spit it out, scream in a pillow, yell in your car, and move on. Don't spend your time cursing others, day after day after day after day, silently in your head. Just have a curse day and scream it out and get it over with. If you're upset with Source, tell Source you're upset with it. If you need to curse Source out, go ahead and do it. Get it out and say, I need more assistance. I need more clarity. This isn't working for me. God, give me a better way to move forward in a way that I can see and understand. I mean it. Don't just sit on it. Don't just wish things would change. Don't just wait for Spirit to do it for you. Take the initiative, express it, move forward. And begin to look at this experience as a positive rather than just negative. As we move along, you'll look back on this and think, well, there could have been worse things. Actually, that time taught me some things that I have carried with me. And again, the big lesson here is all for one, one for all. You're not separate. I don't care what country you're in, what color you are, what religion you practice, what sex you are, any of it. You are all being asked to look at the same thing and see how you do with it. Now, if you're just ignoring it, if you're denying it, if you're out in the world shouting that this isn't it, that's one way. But there's other ways to deal with it. Just say, well, for a year, I got a lot of rest. And the truth is, most of you need rest. You're all oversaturated, overstimulated, overworked and underpaid, more or less. And you just needed to stop and get off the track. Reassess And when you get back on, you're getting back on with a different center, a different sense of who you are, a different idea of what's important and what's not. Maybe a greater ability to make choices and changes in your life. All right, guys. So I notice as I'm talking here, a lot of you letting go of certain emotions and ideas about emotion, and that's a good thing. Know that no matter how spiritual you are, or what level or what step you're on, you have emotions, and they're all okay. You're not less spiritual because something makes you angry. You're not less spiritual because you get frustrated if something's not working the way you want it to. You are more spiritual if you can just have the emotion, own it, let it go, let it go. Don't deny it. Don't pretend like you're not of it. Realize that's who you are. You're humans on this earth. It's an emotional place. And emotions are one of the reasons you wanted to come here in the first place. And if you are going to dwell and focus on an emotion, let it be one of joy, of love, of thanksgiving, of gratitude, of success, of participation. Now those emotions you can dwell on and you can participate in for periods of time and raise your energy level up. So I'm just encouraging you not to focus on those emotions that pull your energy down. That dwelling on it, that focusing on it only makes it worse. It means you can't move forward. So you're stuck in it. And you can be stuck in an emotion for years by just refusing not to look at it, experience it, express it, and move on. A fear of feeling it, owning it, can stop you and can prevent you from progressing. And you're perfectly okay to feel the way you feel. All feelings are fine. You just don't want to hang on, dwell on, focus on the ones that pull you down. You express them, you have them, you feel them, but you don't just become them, identify with them, own them, so you're walking around as a body of sadness. You're walking around as a body of failure. I'm unworthy all the time. I don't have love. That's who I am. You don't want to identify like that with an emotion that pulls your energy down. Doesn't mean you don't have them. Doesn't mean you don't express them. It's just you don't become them. Good. And we really need to balance this out quite a bit with the group body. And you guys can help by balancing it out in your own vehicle. Okay. Also this time can be tiring and exhausting and taxing. So I really want to encourage you all to take care of yourself. If you feel like you need a nap, take a nap. Maybe it's just for 10 minutes, but you're just kind of overwhelmed, everything's spinning. You just need to stop and stop thinking, stop feeling, stop, and go down to zero. And again, I'm going to encourage you to look for things that create joy and happiness, even in the midst of the pandemic. That's even more powerful when you can find fun, joy, and happiness when something is going on that's not that fun, not that joyful, not that happy. But still, you're able to create your own fun, joy, and happiness because you're the master of your own world. You're still living in this group world, but you can be happy in it because you can control your own reality, your own way you move through the reality is probably a better way to say that. So you came to the earth now on purpose. You knew this was going to be something you were going to be going through, and you chose to be here for it. So I would encourage you to make the most of it. Accept what's happening. Don't deny it. Don't act like it's not happening. Accept it and make the best out of it. Now, you guys are good at that. And I just want to keep encouraging you to do what you know how to do, which is make the best out of a bad situation, so to speak. One for all and all for one. And do little things that you come up with. When you're at the store, maybe you have a mask and the cashier has a mask. Connect eye to eye, soul to soul. Smile with your eyes at them. Work with love and joy. Spread it, even in the midst of a pandemic. This will also help you move through this situation more quickly and reach a solution faster. It will be a group solution. You won't be able to solve this unless everyone's participating. Now, I'm speaking relatively everyone. It's not every single soul. But that the group is participating and working together for a solution, and that's the way the solution will come. It's because you're doing it for one, you're doing it for all. Okay. There we go. Now, even though we were a little bit serious in that conversation, I want you to know that there are things to laugh about and to enjoy. Just getting together like this is a great way to use the energy in a positive, uplifting manner. You know, getting together and sharing in a like-minded activity. Okay, guys, you're all doing great. I give you my love, my support, my assistance, and I'm here for each and every one of you. You can call on me to assist you and work with you individually if that's something you want to do, and I'll be there for you. And I just wish you all continued success, continued love, continued joy. I will step aside and let Mark close the session. Okay. All right. I don't know, my face always itches. I don't know if it's because of the energy difference or what, but I realize I'm constantly scratching. And I don't have cooties. It's just a weird thing. I don't know. Okay, guys, I hope that was good for you guys, and that made sense. Be sure to leave comments below if you have some. Please like the videos. I can't stress to you how much that helps me and how much that helps the teachers get their message out. I'm limited in the way that I can get YouTube to share my videos with more people. The only way they'll do that is if the viewers encourage that, and that's by liking the videos and subscribing and pushing the bell so that you're notified whenever I release a video. So I depend on you guys to help me get the message out, and I appreciate every one of you that take this few seconds it takes to do that. You know, I really appreciate it. And know that when I'm in your shoes and I'm watching somebody else, I do the same thing. You know, I press the like, I subscribe, I push the button, I do all those things because I know it helps them get their message out. All right, guys, I love you guys so much, and I thank you for another opportunity to interact with you and work with you in this way. And I want to try to maybe do another live sometime if you guys would like that. We'll see how that goes and see if we want to do that some more. Okay, guys, I love you very much, and I hope you're all having a great day filled with love and joy. And until the next time.